Excellent, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another banging episode of Self Cav. So we all here, the gang is here, I'm here, Cosmo's here. Sechaba is here. And super excited again, man, to be hanging out with you guys. I think before we get into it, I just want to say, we want to say thank you for watching the previous episode and sharing it and telling your world about it. Thank you for the comments as well. I don't know if you guys saw the comments.
No, I haven't really checked the comments.
Yeah.
I'll do that later today.
100%. So thank you. Keep watching, keep sharing. Yeah, and keep liking.
And subscribing.
How you guys?
Good. It's getting so hot. I think the weather's confusing me because I'm not used to it being so hot so early in the year.
Yeah.
So I think my body's still trying to adjust to that, and I'm stressed about how bad it's going to be in December. But I'm not complaining because I'm a summer girl. So bring on the heat, bring on the vibes, bring on Scroovo for December. I'm good to go.
Yes, girl.
Lava Batandi winter, I can understand it, but it's fine. Tina, we're good. We're happy.
I actually love winter.
I was about to say.
Oh, you guys are those strange
Like
people.
I was about to say, like
No.
You were strange for liking summer.
Yeah.
guys, summer. Like for me, I'm really trying to be like a summer kid also, Wabo, and I flopped tremendously clearly because I caught the flu or fever. Like it was a family gathering situation.
Yeah.
Had my shorts keepers. Look at me.
Now you're with the sniffles.
Like with the confusion, like
Yes.
yeah. But other than that, I'm not to feel.
You just need to be a little bit stronger. You know what I mean?
Nah.
Just settle yourself into the vibes and the heat and just rock those shots again. Even with your sniffle, your body will adjust.
Yeah. I'm trying to be a summer kid, man.
Yeah.
I'm a winter.
Did you take any meds?
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying.
And the summer flu is terrible.
Yeah,
dude,
no,
hey.
it's not nice, bro.
Do you have any like old school remedies that you use for the flu? Like not like medication from over the counter, like at home brewed stuff.
So with this, I had like microwaved Stony
with
med
med lemon.
Disprin,
Yeah.
and what else? I forgot what else.
Do you know what works better if you cook it?
Cook.
Yes, cook the stony. It's sitting in the microwave.
No, I've never tried cooking it.
Yeah, it must boil.
Yeah.
When you're in microwave, more radiation things, it's not doing the things.
No, I've never tried. I'll
You
try
must
that.
boil it. I think you want to do old school.
Yeah.
You can't shortcut ka microwave.
You can't.
I actually didn't think of it that
And then I
way.
also said you must try the hulls, the black ones though. So you just boil water in a mug. You pour water in the holes, about 3 of them.
You put holes in a pot.
No, in hot water.
Yeah, I mean, with the theory, I guess you can also cook it.
Yeah. Just allow it to melt, drink that. You're going to be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially if you have a sore throat.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I had a
works.
sore throat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know you should also try but I don't know if you guys are gonna be open to this. But if you need to try like actual plants, like maybe like a eucalyptus or whatever.
Okay.
Ustime kayona, but like boil it properly and sit in it in that heat.
Yeah.
And then see how it opens up the congestion
So
a
I
little
tried
bit
that
more.
now before I
Yes.
came.
Yeah.
I even had a young one on the tissue.
He's busy. He was sitting here off camera, busy smelling the tissue. I thought maybe he's smelling the drugs or something. What's going
I
on?
did not even notice that.
I'm thinking I'm doing it subtly.
But no, I caught you. Don't worry. The cameras caught you. We got you.
Goodness. I used to actually drink, when I was sick, I'd drink a bit of eucalyptus oil. Yeah, just a little bit. It would
But it's
help.
better from the plant direct.
Yeah.
But scary.
Drink.
Yeah. Hanyane fella, like
Okay.
dob. Yeah. But yeah, so coming up on the show today, we have What's Popping. A couple of interesting stories that we're going to be looking at there. And then later on, we have the Spotlight. And we're talking church hurt.
Okay.
Yeah. So we will get into that a bit later. For now, I wanted us to get into first things first. And I wanted to ask a question. I don't know if you guys do it, Cosmo, woman. But I've seen this a lot with men. Men go to a petrol station and they pour in petrol, and it's always 150 rand. The guy can have 10,000 rand, 100,000 rand in his bank account, but they'll pour 150 rand. Do you do that as well?
I mean,
The fact that you're thinking about it.
I do, but like I don't think of it like as a I do.
Why?
I don't know. Like when I first had the car, like I always had this mentality. I'm always gonna full it, pour full tank every time I go to the garage. And then I just outgrew that thing, man. I was like,
outgrew it or your pocket outgrew it? There's a difference.
No, I just felt like the more petrol I have, I end up going to places I don't need to go to. You see, so I'm like, let me just pour 150, go to where I need to go back home, and that's it. I think, the more petrol I have.
Look, a lot of my friends actually hate me for this because I'm also a 150.
Oh my goodness.
But, and they shout at me all the time. They're like, why don't you just pour a full tank? I'm like, because I don't have it. Like, what do you want me to do? If it's a little bit of a quiet week, it's a quiet week. I ain't got it. But what I used to do was I used to pour at least, a full tank or maybe even half a tank on a Monday.
Yeah.
And then run around and do all of my errands throughout the week. By the time it's the weekend and my friends jump in the car because now we're going to gigs, that's when they start charging me. And I'm like, no, guys, I had petrol earlier on this week. It's just that now it's Friday and now I just need to get there. So I'm going to pour the 150. You know what I mean? But I know it is a bad habit, to be fair. And I need to get out of it because it's childish. However, I sometimes... it's all you have. And what are you going to do? You got to get to where you're going.
Like, what did I want to say? Like, with my insurer.
Yeah.
So they have this thing, if you drive less than 300 kilometers, you get cash back, what. So in the beginning, I was like, I'm gonna try and drive.
That was your crutch.
Drive less than 300. Dog. It didn't work. But I try and keep to where I need to go. Because for me personally, I feel like the more petrol I have, I end up just end up going for no apparent reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
I'm trying to get Engine to sponsor us every single week.
Okay.
So when we come here, then they give us like vouchers.
Is that 150?
No, not 150.
Okay,
You're very, very attracted to that 150. No.
I'm finished.
No, more than that.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm trying to get them to sponsor us.
All right.
Yeah. I used to pour petrol like a full tank, and then I just top up.
Okay.
I don't know what happened.
Life happens.
No, man, it's not even that.
Adulting happens. Where you must now spend your money on other things. Do you know how expensive cost of living is right now?
Guys,
you want me to drive around with a full tank?
Guys, I'm saying, even when you have the money,
yes,
you still pour in 150.
But that money can do something else.
Exactly. Because
also, like a tank.
Also, I think my biggest crutch, and I admit it is a crutch, but it's how my brain is wired. I'm a budgeter, so if I've got 1,000 rand in my bank account, I need to tell myself, what do I need today or what I need this week? I still need to buy this, I need to buy that, I need to buy toiletries, I need to buy eggs, I need to buy bread, I need to... Yeah. Then I say, okay, cool, groza, 500. Then I say, petrol, 150. Then I'll say, okay, maybe I need to buy other things, cosmetics, makeup, whatever the hell. Maybe I need to buy data, or I need to buy lunch, or... something, maybe happily on a Friday. Something, the budget must align. I'm not going to pour that full amount, that full 1,000 rand, and then I don't have groceries or I don't have toiletries. I need to balance it out. So for me, I'm a big budgeter. Yeah. So I need to at least try and fit everything into that money that I have for this week until the next paycheck comes.
Interesting. And groceries, sorry, you want to say?
No, for me, full tank only makes sense when I'm doing long distance, right? Like if I'm going home or I know I'm driving to like a long distance makes sense for a full tank.
Yeah.
But if I'm on a full tank and I'm still roaming the streets of it's fine.
You're not doing that.
150.
You mentioned groceries, Cosmo. Do you believe in doing groceries every week or at the end of the month?
I used to be a once a month grocery person. Where I'd literally just go in and just like buy everything that needs to be done.
Yeah.
And then I'll see it next month. Whatever's finished is finished, until the next payment. Then groceries just got way too expensive.
Right?
I was like, what are we living in? What are we doing? And over and above how expensive groceries are, it's also a factor of sometimes you'll buy like fresh foods and then that stuff goes off within like a couple of days.
That's so true.
And now man just saying stagile, I can't buy them until next month because in Pachatele. Now I can't have tomatoes because I'm waiting for the end of the month.
Yeah.
So I've kind of changed my ways now. I buy according to what's necessary in the house. So if meat is finished, then I go in and I buy a whole stack of meat. If the veggies are finished, then so generally I'll buy veggies and fruit like once a week.
Yeah.
And then all the other perishables, I buy them as I need them. And then when they're done, then I'll replenish. But generally they also last a little bit longer. So it also just makes it easier for my pocket. Where it doesn't feel like a once off.
Yeah.
Yo, because sometimes you walk away there swiping by my 10th hour and you're like, who's booze? What are you doing?
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Groceries have gotten crazy expensive, bruh. Like, Pelaluna, no, like I live with my wife. Cooks, she loves cooking. Like, that's her thing. Wabo. For me, it's not so much. It's not so much of my thing. Wabo. And like, but how we buy, like we'll buy once a month, like the non-perishables, like bull, BC, and bull, fish or canned stuff. Wabo. But with the veggies, that's where you'll buy like
weekly.
150, like
petrol.
Like petrol. Yeah, because they go off these things.
Yeah, they
next
do.
thing you go there by Food Lovers, they have a special 300 kg of butternut, 300 kg of. Then you buy all these things and then they go off.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like the fresh market on Uber.
Yeah, but like for me, it's like sometimes the quantity is so much that you end up not using it by the time it goes off.
Yeah.
So just prefer like going there once a
So
week.
when did things get so expensive?
I don't know.
What's
That's a
going
good
on?
question.
I don't know.
Yo,
That's a good question. It really is a good question. Yeah, because like Fresh Market, Uber has like this Fresh Market every Tuesday.
Yeah.
And everything is like 50% off.
Really?
Yeah.
You're right. You shouldn't really. I don't know. Maybe their fresh market is actually fresh food, but sometimes I don't trust them. You're right, because maybe they're gonna give you the stuff that's been sitting on the shelf for too long.
Quite some time.
I enjoy the grocery store that's close to my place. Every day there's a special. Something is always
There's
on
like a Pick and
sale.
Pay.
Every day, yes.
Yeah.
And my mom even calls it as Paza Shop because she says every day there's something.
Really?
She finds herself just going there just for the sake of going to buy something because there's a special, but not because she needs it or not because there's a necessity. But I like things like that because at least you're also feeling like you're getting a bargain. You know, I mean, it's a scam, sure, but
It really
I'm
is.
saving money at the end of the day.
100%.
You know?
I mean, you find this in Persuasion. We did an elective. One of the electives we did for my master's was Persuasion, the Art of Influence. And one of the things they talk about is scarcity, you know, like buy one, get one free or 50% off. So it creates this impression in your head that, hey, man, like you are actually getting a lot out of your money. But it's like, nah, you're actually not, you know, so...
I also think it's important to also then time it and get it at the time you need it. Yeah. So especially when it comes to specials and things like that, I won't buy things unless I need it. And then I'll say, oh, bonus, at least I'm getting it during special time. Because the specials happen so often that you're going to get it even the next season. Because if you miss it this month, best believe it'll be back end of November or end of December.
Without the special.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you'll be able to save that 10 rand that you're spending today.
Doc, do you wax?
Wax what?
Do you wax like armpits? And
Oh no, just cream, not wax.
you've never waxed?
Nah.
I'm assuming you wax.
I used to. It's painful. I think I wax my eyebrows. If I have to be very honest.
Yeah.
So if there's anything that I consistently wax, is my eyebrows. Everything else, I can't. I need to use.
Cream.
Yeah, I either use a cream or a shaver.
I made a big mistake.
You waxed. You waxed.
Yo, let me tell you.
You know what? Sometimes you need the experience so you know it's not for me. This thing is not for me.
My wife, she was here. Like, babe, let me wax you. I'm like, why? No, babe, come on. You know.
So you said now.
And then on Sunday, I let her in. So after church, and I'm there. She's prepping. So she starts with this.
Your arms.
Yeah, and just a little
Like a
piece,
small
right?
patch, yeah.
And she applies that thing, and then she.
Yeah.
Oh man.
The wax strip.
And you still continued, or after that you were
I'm
like,
already
nah,
there
nah.
like a chicken, you know. It's like I'm
Not a chicken.
yeah. And then we waxed, it was so painful.
Yeah.
It was so painful.
You're ripping
Yeah.
the roots out of your skin. So basically,
like-
essentially, when you're waxing, the difference between shaving and waxing, with shaving, you're literally shaving off the top half of the hair. But with waxing, you're taking out the root. So it's
right.
going to be painful because you're literally digging into your skin all the way
You-
to the bottom and out.
Nah, dog. That's a lot.
Dude, it was so painful. And I was actually thinking, we put out that poll on YouTube,
Yeah.
right? The excursion, right? And a lot of people are voting for you.
To wax.
No, for you to do the excursion. But I think I can
Right?
book you an appointment at Waxit. We can make a plan for you. Or at our local survey, don't worry.
Cosmo's on the
and
money.
you know what? I've got points, so we might even get a discount just for you.
Is the poll done?
Yes.
Let's check, actually.
Yeah, no, that sounds tough.
Would you do it?
I mean, if that's what you want me to do, I guess
Yeah.
I'll do
Well,
it.
Cosmo
You know
says
what?
yes.
You have to experience it at least once in your life. I've experienced all of those things, and I've decided it's not for me. It's fine. And
So
those
not for
women
me.
who are brave enough
Guys,
to
you're not
continue,
selling this
do
thing,
you? I'm not supposed to sell it. You're supposed to experience it.
Well,
guess I'll
dude,
do
you
it.
are at 63%, brother.
Sechaba.
So we'll check.
So we're gonna book you a wax appointment. You have to tell us which body part you're going for. I'm thinking full body. You know.
And Brandon is going to record that.
Yeah. We're gonna make sure we get every single piece of extra hair off.
Full
Like-
body.
Yeah. You'll be
Everything.
You'll be as smooth as a seal.
You.
Full body.
That's tough.
Sure.
We'll discuss.
We'll discuss
the
it.
cost.
We'll negotiate with him off air.
Definitely. Full body.
Yeah, what is crazy?
Yeah, so we'll see by the end of Friday, by Friday, end of the week, if you're still topping the poll,
Good.
then you're definitely doing the excursion.
You'll be fine. Don't worry. It might even heal your flu. Just think about it.
Dude, like, yo,
What? How do we go from
I want to know as well.
stonies to
I also
waxing?
want to know.
Yeah. Sometimes you need to shock the body. Don't worry. It'll be fine.
That's very wild. All right, guys. So what's popping? There's a couple of stories that we're going to be looking at.
All right.
But I think the first one is just going to take up a lot of time. So let's get into it. I saw over the weekend, I think it was Saturday or Friday, Bali posted that the divorce has been finalized. In case you don't know, she was married to Black Coffee. But now they're not together anymore. And yeah, they've divorced, right? But I actually don't want to focus on that story. I want to talk about prenups,
Okay.
right? So I wrote here that traditionally prenups are meant to safeguard marriages, when you think about it. So they protect assets, promote transparency, and ensure that both partners are secure if things go south. Because when you think of marriage contracts, you have in community of property, and then you have out of community of property, and then you have with accrual or without accrual. Which one did you do? Without accrual. Okay. So yes, traditionally they are meant to safeguard marriages, right? But I couldn't help but wonder if there's another side to prenups. And that is, do they subconsciously shield cheating?
What do you mean by that?
Yeah.
All right, let me actually reference something. I was on X yesterday, and obviously the topical story right now has been Bali and Black Coffee, blah 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 blah. And then there's a guy who then tweeted, "Gents, get your prenups in order." This is based off of the fact that Bali is going to be receiving whatever it is that she's going to be receiving. So he tweets that, "Gents, get your prenups in order." And then a lady comments and says, once again, instead of having constructive discussions regarding being faithful spouses to their partners and getting proper knowledge regarding estate and wealth building, the boy child, it's always the boy child. Hey, like, we're so problematic. the boy child is coming up with all nonsensical ideas of how to protect the imaginary wealth.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm glad you said imaginary.
Yeah. That's a way to put it.
So again, I'm saying, is there another side to prenups? Because they give you a legal cushion when you think about it.
They give you a legal cushion to do what? To safeguard your assets in case things go belly up, but who's making it go belly up? At the end of the day, in relationships, I mean, we spoke about this last time. Everybody cheats. Females cheat, men cheat.
Cosmo, what do you mean everybody? I
No,
have to clarify that.
not as
Not-
no. I meant from a gender perspective.
Yeah, anyone can cheat. Yeah.
It's not necessarily only the men, but majority of the time, statistics show it is the male counterparts that can't keep it in their pants. But I'm not disregarding the fact that women also have their own vices and they do their own things as well.
Right.
Whether it's protecting, cheating, I've never thought of it like that, if anything.
Yeah.
I think if I were to get married, I think my protection would really be on me protecting my career, my wealth, the assets that I've built for myself, but not necessarily from a cheating perspective. Some different things happen in a marriage. People change.
Yeah.
It could turn abusive. You might have known this person for 5 years. All of a sudden, you have a ring on your finger, and then he decides you belong to him, and he can smack you around.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those things happen.
Yeah.
So it could be an abusive situation. It could be you actually don't know each other, because people also just get married on a whim, you know? And then you realize, as Kipila, this person's unhygienic. It's a mess in the house. I can't do it anymore. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's different things that cause marriages to fall apart. So I think it's also just when you grow yourself, especially in a time where there's a lot of focus on careers and making money. Women are making their own money. Men are making their own money. I think it's important to also then decide, okay, how are we sharing this thing? And what are we putting together? What are we building as a couple? But what am I building for myself? Because you're not going to come in now and just take everything I've built just because you want to sit at home and play games for a living. You know, it's weird. It's a tricky conversation. Yeah. But also, I'm not married, so I need you guys to chime in more than me.
But also, I'm just thinking, cheating is never premeditated.
Continue.
Is it? Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But I don't think somebody wakes up and decides.
So when cheating happens, you just fall on top of each other.
You know what I always say?
No.
Right? I say, this is what I say, especially with men. I think cheating is an opportunity that men are given, and then they utilize it.
But who gives it to them?
It's their environment.
The environment.
Yes.
But then who's supposed to say no? The man who's married, who took vows, who said,
I hear you.
You are mine forever and ever. Amen.
I definitely hear you. But I think the point that I'm trying to make is you don't wake up and you say, I'm actually going to go cheat.
Sometimes people do.
Man. I think
some people do. They get
wake
themselves in situations where they're frustrated at home, they're not happy, they're not communicating.
Yeah.
You're frustrated by the person that you're living with. Maybe they're annoying you because they're in your ear or whatever the case is, and you think, oh, I just need somebody else who can relieve me or whatever the case is. And it's on both sides, mind you.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the time when women cheat, it's also because they're frustrated of what's happening at home.
Yeah.
And they want somebody else to make them feel better about themselves. So sometimes it's planned. It might not be with a specific person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's I need to feel better elsewhere.
So the act is planned.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah.
Because you also need to, you've taken a vow. I assume this is what's happening in people's minds. You've taken a vow. You've said to yourself, I am with this person forever. I want to stay loyal to this person. At some point, things start falling apart, and then you're like, it starts building in your head. The idea starts making more sense. And then you do it. It's not like you wake up one day and you say, oh, I'm going to go and cheat just because I feel like it. Some men do.
Yeah.
But not all.
Now, I also agree with the fact that sometimes people do wake up with like a premeditated stance to say, I'm cheating. And I say this based off experience. You know, like I've done a lot of like trips. Let's say like there's a trip to PE or Durban or whatever professionally. Could be a corporate space, right? Most of the time it's people that are married, you know, and for whatever reason, when we get to the other side of the world, it becomes Vegas. Rings come off, corridors, exchanges happen, and all of that type of stuff. And I say it's premeditated because you can already see it from the time we go. For oh no, Mang is already like has ideas or plans with so and so, but they had planned over. When we go there, this is what will happen.
Yeah.
When you're my person, when you're my work wife, you know, like those type of things, work husband.
There's nothing that bores me more than that,
Exactly.
than that name.
So that's for me, that's where those type of things come in, right? Like it'll start very like kidly. Like we're playing around or whatever the case might be, and then it escalates with what she's saying. For me personally, I don't think things have to collapse so much at home, but it just comes with that seed of like, maybe this and that is not happening or whatever. So I do think it's premeditated sometimes.
You know,
always.
I have a theory, right? And that is, I think prenups should have clauses, and this should be standardized. I know you can have a chat with the lawyer to say, I want this clause, and that clause in the prenup. But I think it should be standardized that should one of the parties cheat, then it does not apply, the prenup.
Okay.
I don't know what you guys think
To
about
safeguard the person who's been cheated on.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So essentially, if in this situation, the man is bringing in majority of the wealth, he's the one who cheats. So then the prenup no longer exists, and he needs to give half of his assets.
Yes.
Hectic. Amen.
Yes, here's the thing, guys. Cheating is, and I think a lot of people look at cheating from one point of view, that it's the act and it's, you know, the release and so on and so forth. It's deeper than that. You go and you cheat, maybe you're married, you go and you cheat, right? You don't know who the person you're sleeping with, you don't know what they have. STIs, disease, whatever the case may be, right? Chances are you sleep with them without any protection. And then you come home and you bring that, you know. So it's like you put in my life in danger when you think about it. And I must just like accept it. So shout out to Entle. I know a lot of guys would think, hey, dude, you're talking nonsense. But I've seen that women really ride with men, like from the onset until the end. And I don't know if it's their nature, if it's you guys' nature, but women are super loyal.
Majority of us are, yes. I can say that, especially when we've made the decision to be with somebody,
Yes.
we're going to be loyal, we're going to ride it out, we're going to see how far we can go with this relationship, because we also understand that we want to be in, we appreciate companionship, I think, a little bit more.
Yeah.
And the loyalty that comes with it, and the vows and the conversations and the values behind what marriage is. We believe in it wholeheartedly. I sometimes think men get married for the package deal. Whenever I want to come home and I want to bust a nut, somebody's there. I've got somebody who can cook for me. I've got somebody who can share my expenses. I've got somebody who can look after me. Sometimes it feels like men do it because, at least I've got someone who can take care of things.
So it's the idea, yeah.
It's the idea of marriage. That's what guys buy into. It's not the values behind the marriage. Whereas women buy into the value and the companionship and the loyalty and the love and the appreciation.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So sometimes it's also a little bit of a catch-22 as to what is it that we're in this thing for?
Yeah.
You know? And those are the reasons why you'll find that the balance of scale kind of tips a little bit, because who's actually there for the real reason?
Yeah.
And you'll also find that a lot of men, and I've seen this also on social media trending quite often, there's a guy that I follow who mentions how he speaks about, he says he's mansplaining in a lot of his videos. And he says, no, men do get married, but sometimes men don't get married to the loves of their lives. They don't get married to their best friend. They get married to who's in front of them at that moment when they are ready to get married.
Sure.
which is why you'll find a lot of men are settling, and then once they're in the marriage, then they see all the frustrations because they're actually not connecting with this person who they thought that they were marrying because they were just ticking boxes.
Yeah.
Oh no, okay, she's got a good job. Okay, she looks good. Okay, she can cook. Okay, she'll look after me. Oh, she's loyal. She's not going to be on the street. She doesn't club. She doesn't have funny friends. Sharp. But then you get into the marriage and you realize your personalities completely clash because you don't know how to argue with each other. You don't know how to listen to each other. You don't know how to laugh with each other. And then now you're frustrated with this person who ticked boxes on a piece of paper.
Yeah.
But you actually know that person. You actually love that person.
So you wanted to jump in?
No, I wanted to. I want to take it back, all the way back to when you asked us the question, And I'm gonna answer it a bit more traditionally to say, I didn't think of it as a cheating safeguard or whatever the case. I'm just thinking of it as a concept, which is what the education of Entle and Black Coffee's marriage also introduces to us in that sense to say, the black child, well, for me, still need to learn more about these things, right? Just from concept to say, Hori, I'm the first person in my family to sign a prenup. Never mind cheating or never mind what, just by concept, when I introduced this to my parents and I'm like, yo, we're going to sign a prenup, my mom's like,
what is that?
What is that?
Yeah.
Wabo? And to her, what it translates to, it just kind of sounds like we're preparing for
the worst, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, no, but that's not the case, Wabo. And then now you have to do your homework and whatever, and you see where all of this started or how it came about as a concept. And it was to protect wealth, from the medieval times or whatever the case might be. It's a thing, Yauri. The women had less, the men had more, right? And they were protecting their assets no matter what. Cheating, but from concept, it's like, yo, dude, I love you, but I need to protect.
I love you, but I don't love you.
Yeah.
I love you, but I don't love you.
I love you, but I don't love you. Obo. So with that being thrown in the mix, I think with what you say, it will evolve because that's what we needed to do. Right, I think with any other law, it will evolve based on because what happens is people find loopholes, right? And it's once this thing is introduced, it's like, oh, okay, here's a loophole for me or whatever the case. Here's how I might get out or whatever the case. And how she eventually managed to win the whole thing was the lobola thing and whatever the case. So for me, I'm just saying before we even get to Boma cheating and whatnot, just understand it for yourself as an individual getting into this contract to say, okay, how does this thing work for me? How does it, with or without what I have, how does this thing benefit me? You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like most of the time, I don't know how the posture of their relationship was when they got into it or in terms of assets or whatever. I don't know. Mara, you find he was advised to be hey, my man, check out everything, and it's probably an advice coming from people who already knew his life, or knew him personally to be hey, my man, should things some type of way, she comes through and she asks for 1, 2, 3, 4, you should at least be able to be ready for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's where.
And I think also the time that you do your prenup is also very important.
Definitely.
I've seen a lot of lawyers also mentioning this on social media as well about signing the prenup before you even get to the negotiations, before you even send the uncles.
Yes. True.
Because according to customary law in South Africa,
100%.
the moment you've had the conversation with the uncles, there's no prenup happening. You guys are married.
It's chai.
It's gone now. You've done an exchange, even if that exchange is just a bottle of something, just to vula mlomo.
Or 20
You're
rand.
done. You know what I mean?
It's chai.
Because you started the negotiations,
Yeah.
you started the process, you've basically said, I am marrying this person, this is what my intentions are. And it's to protect those people who don't live in the city centers.
Yeah.
So that law is in place to protect a lot of the mamas who live as Lalini who don't have access to a home affairs to kind of fight for their rights or whatever the case may be. Customary law is a traditional thing that's happened in South Africa for years.
100%.
So the moment, and everybody knows, the moment uncles are at your gates,
It's chai.
it's over for you. So if you're going to do a prenup, do it way before you send the letter.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what I'm trying to get to. Because I feel like a lot of people still don't understand that fundamentally to say, before whatever happens. And another thing that I would advise is that depending on, because when you sign these things, like, babe, wabo. But my advice is have your lawyer and your partner has their lawyer, because I've seen that if you advised also from the same, if you get the same legal advice, it kind of does blind you in a sense, because right now you're being explained everything in general. But if you have your own legal advice as an individual in the marriage like you do have like that, what can I say, like selective advice. Like it's for you based on what you have. This one is for you. And then you get like a joint advice. Yeah.
Interesting. I think...
Did you sign a prenup?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
Before or after?
No, before. Before. Obviously, I chat to my dad. He advises on a lot of stuff. My younger brother got married before me as well, so we had the experience. You know what I mean? So yes, I signed a prenup. My wife and I.
Did it cause any weird tension in your relationship?
We went together.
Because sometimes that's also like a point of contention where they'll be like, oh, don't you trust me?
Yes.
Do you think I'm going to leave you?
Yes.
Do you think I want your money?
Yes.
And then all of a sudden it's weird before you even start buying wedding dresses and things,
Not even. It was not. We actually went together to the lawyer. She explained everything to us. Then, made the payment. We signed the documents.
You made the payment, right?
Yeah?
You made the payment.
Whatever, dog.
Wow. As if it makes a difference.
That's what happened with us.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. For me, the more educated you are about it, the more you can actually be joint in the decision, right?
Yeah.
But if someone knows more about it and you introduce it to a partner, it kind of does sound like, hey man, there's more. Yeah, what's going on? Like why? Or like what's this?
Yeah. Which one did you do? Did you do with accrual, without accrual?
No, without.
Okay.
Yeah, without. But I'm just saying, like we were both like already like that's what she wanted, that's what I already wanted before even like we got to the conversation of prenups or whatever. Like she had done her own research, I had done my own.
I think it helps in this day and age to at least have the information, because especially if somebody is going to build their own career and make their own money, they need to at least have the idea of what are they bringing into a marriage.
Yes.
It's different when it's somebody who's just, I'm going to be a housewife and I'm just going to sit and I'm going to be a princess. Those people are stuck.
Yeah.
They can't go anywhere because you're choosing to be somebody's princess. You're choosing not to have a job. So you're also then choosing to go in with nothing. You might come out with nothing if you choose to leave. But then those ladies are also 9 times out of 10 the ones who are going to begezela because they've got nothing to hold on to besides the marriage.
Yeah.
So they have to stick it out.
Yeah.
Whereas some of us career ladies are like, oh, that's what you want to do?
Yeah. Jesus.
Yeah.
I was about to say, I think also what made it easier for us is we're very similar in assets, right? So I don't know about other people in their marriages or whatever. Like, I don't have like 10 billion in my account and she has like 500. But we're very similar. So I think it kind of is easier to have that conversation to be like, okay, this is what we're doing or whatever the case. But I do feel like it is a different kind of conversation if you are sitting with your millions and you are approaching like you are going to get married to someone who's going to probably be like a housewife or whatever the case. I do think it presents a different type of conversation.
Yeah. I want to pose the question that Cosmo posed to me, to you. Was it not weird when you guys had the conversation? No. Especially the marriage contract that you guys went with. Yeah. Because you went without accrual, right? That's very interesting.
Yeah, no, it wasn't weird at all, bro. Like I'm saying, like it was something that she had already decided on her own.
Yeah.
Or rather, she was gonna tell the person she was gonna marry, whoever that was, when she was ready, which happens to be me.
Yeah.
And the same here, right? I had to do more research about it though. After we started our relationship.
So break it down, the difference between with and without accrual.
Do you want to break it down?
So with accrual is person A, person B, they have assets, right? And then they enter into a marriage. So whatever assets they came with, it's theirs separately. And whatever they build together within the marriage, should it dissolve, that is what they'll split. Yes, that is with accrual. And then without accrual, that's why I'm taken aback by what you said. So without accrual is like we're just doing our own thing here.
Why are you taken aback by it?
Yeah.
I don't know, because I'm thinking, people. There's a purpose behind like marriage.
Okay.
The plan is to build together. You know what I mean? So if the posture is, I mean, obviously they're not saying that they are gonna break up. They didn't get into marriage to break up. But then what I'm getting there is we're getting into this to do whatever it is that we want to do. And I stand to be corrected. You can be.
I feel without a quarrel is not an issue, because at the end of the day, you're coming together. You've built your wealth. I've built mine. Right? We come together because we love each other. We're not coming together because we're trying to get rich together. Because it's not a business agreement, in my idea.
Yeah.
Outside of that, yes, I know you can build things together. And maybe if you guys do decide to, I don't know, start a business or whatever the case may be, then that's what you guys can kind of then split. But I think whatever we bring to the table, we can still share it within the marriage. But should things go belly up, then at least I can say, okay, well, this is what I contributed. Let me leave with that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But you see, then they are legally binded. You know what I mean? There's a.
Yes, but then that can still be dissolved from a business perspective.
I get that. What I'm saying is, because of how I look at marriage, right? I'm thinking we're here to build together.
I hear you.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Not
We can still build
We're still
together.
building.
No, I hear you guys.
Yes,
I hear you,
100%.
but just that separation for me is what takes me aback. And again, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at it from like a marriage point of view to say we are becoming one.
100%.
So why is it that in the marriage, within the marriage, we have this posture that, hey man,
Okay,
do
so
what
then
you're
explain
doing.
this to me.
You don't
If
know
you
what
were
you're
saying
doing.
we're building together,
yeah.
but you guys have two different careers, what are you building together and how do you quantify that?
Like for instance, this business here, right? I'm trying to bring my wife into it.
Okay.
She's a dancer. A lot of people don't know this, but outside of her being a corporate girl, she's a dancer.
Come on, Bill.
Yeah.
Come on,
Come on,
Bill.
Pale, 100%. You know what I mean? So just me supporting some of her aspirations, you know, and should it happen that we break up or, you know, marriage dissolves, then the posture was never, I got into this marriage to do whatever it is that I wanted to do and, you know, get some money from that and vice versa. You know, so like I'm just really blown away by
Yeah. No, I don't think with how you're explaining it is how we thought about it. Because it's not like what you're saying. It's not like we're getting into this thing. She's doing her own thing. I'm doing my thing. If anything, we have like more aligned careers.
Okay.
So in terms of building, we are building. I think what you're thinking about it at the end.
Yes.
Should it dissolve? You're thinking about it. And we didn't think, Corey.
100%.
Should it go there? You know what I'm
But
saying?
I think we should tap into that as well.
But
we
but-
can't look at a prenup just on the basis of, okay, we got married and we still we building.
Because for me, at the end of the day, that, like, it dissolving is literally that. Walk away with yours, walk away with yours.
Yes.
What's yours? You know what I'm saying?
And also, and if you are building in the relationship, let's say I'm dating somebody right now and then I want to go back to school. And I can't afford it right now because my business is just, you know, influencers, we get paid once a year. So I need assistance from my boyfriend. You are now investing in me by paying for my school fees. Who's to say that I'm not going to now build a business and then invest back into yours?
Well,
we can do that together. It doesn't necessarily mean that it needs to be in accrual because we're building
'Cause
each other that way.
I
because
hear that, guys.
you will put in your 10 cents, I'll put in my 10 cents, you'll put in your 10 cents at some point. I'll carry the relationship, you carry it when you need the carrying. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
And
Life
that
will
for me
humble
makes
you.
sense.
I think life will humble you. You're talking about somebody paying for your fees, right? And you're saying, what are the chances that you will not? Who's to say you will not, you know, meet them halfway or whatever the case may be? I've seen a lot of people where that was the situation, where somebody plowed into somebody, and then there was a lot of blessings coming into that person's life, and they decided to dip. You know what I'm saying? Again, if I actually want us to talk about like this whole accrual thing, right? From a monetary point of view, right? And do the sum. Cosmo, you get married, right? You get married to Clive. Clive onalenyuke by, right? And when maybe you're average. Shabi, you guys get into this marriage, blah, blah, blah. And you sacrifice for this guy. You sacrifice so much. And he still cheats, or whatever the case may be, or the marriage dissolves, right? He leaves that marriage with so much than you. And that's why this without a cruel thing, I'm looking at it from that point of view as well, that you have a lot of people who sacrifice in marriages.
What am I sacrificing? My career.
I don't know.
Yeah,
But you see, that's the thing. That's why I'm asking, because those conversations need to happen before you sign to say, what are you bringing to the table? What am I bringing to the table?
Do people have that?
No, but that's the whole point of a prenup.
Like, why are you signing it if you don't? That's what I'm saying.
No, guys. My question is, what we've gathered from this conversation is, when you look at the stages of falling in love, whatever you want to coin it, right? You have the dating stage, right? You have the relationship stage, you have the commitment stage, and then you have marriage. Dating is where people really talk about like the uncomfortable things, right? How many people actually get into that? You were saying earlier on that people get married because they just want to get married. You know what I mean? Some people don't have those conversations. Some people don't know how to have those conversations and so on and so forth. So I'm saying to you guys, if a woman finds herself in a position where she's married to a guy, maybe she has ambitions, because we saw with, who's this basketball player guy?
Oh, it's the Steph Curry and his wife.
The wife is going on social media and she's saying, hey, but this guy doesn't understand me. I never wanted to have kids. And you like 4 kids in or 6 kids in. You know, and it's like, yo. So I took away like your drive and your ambition and so on and so forth. Is that what you're saying? So I'm saying in instances where you find women like sacrificing so much, right? Sacrificing their careers even. And then the marriage dissolves. Yeah. We are married. Sure. We signed a prenup without accrual. What am I benefiting from this?
Yeah. But again, that's back to the same conversation. What am I bringing to the table? What are you bringing to the table?
That's what I'm saying, essentially.
Yeah. Because as somebody like Steph Curry's wife who chose to sacrifice herself and her career to be Steph Curry's wife, you come into a relationship and you ask yourself, what is it that I'm bringing to the table? Am I really sacrificing my career, number one? Am I choosing to be with this man? Or am I saying my career comes first? Because at the end of the day, I think that's essentially what you're fighting for. And I think those conversations need to be had because you decide as yourself, as a woman, in a relationship, okay, I don't want without accrual because I'm bringing 0. I'm bringing myself and my love and my loyalty, and I'm going to be a wife.
Who's honest enough to say that?
No, nobody's honest enough to say that, but the reality is also there. As a man, you're also then sitting back and you're thinking, okay, what's the plan here? Who are you and what are we building together? But most women, I can tell you for free, if they're going to fight for without accrual, they're fighting for it because they have a career. If I don't have a career, I'm going to keep quiet. I'm going to be quiet as a church mouse. Why? Because I'm not bringing anything. I know myself. Women, in and as much as we might act like, we didn't go to school. No, they know the decisions they're making. They want to be protected in the marriage because they don't have a career. If I have a career, best believe I'm fighting for my wealth because I've built it. You didn't build me. So if she's chosen to sacrifice herself, she must also then understand that it comes with the other side of the coin.
Guys, I think we're speaking from a point of privilege, in all honesty. I think we're speaking from a point of privilege.
I think prenup as a concept,
the assumption is that
concept of privilege.
The assumption, sure, I get that, but the assumption is that everybody thinks like us. You know what I mean? Is that everybody has the same conversations as we do with our partners and so on and so forth. And I'm talking about the marginalized, whether it's 2%, 5%, whatever the case may be. For me, without accrual in that particular setup does not make sense.
Yes, it doesn't.
Yes, yeah, that's how I'm looking at it.
No, it doesn't.
Yes.
For me, that's why it's a conversation, right? Like you have with your partner.
Yeah.
Like what she's saying. It's like, what am I bringing? What am I not bringing? What am I getting? Like just like that. what are you bringing? You know what I'm saying? And you have that conversation with your partner. Like I made the example of being like super wealthy, like you are worth 100 billion, right? And you're marrying a lady. Well, let's actually flip the script. This lady is worth 500 billion, marrying a gent that's worth 10K. You know, what's the conversation of the prenup like there? You know what I'm saying? And chances are the person with the wealth is gonna try, like they're gonna wanna protect their wealth more than the person who's not bringing the wealth to the table. So it's a different conversation. I don't know how it goes. I don't know how it is.
Is value only monetary?
The what?
Value.
Value of what? Of the
marriage.
marriage?
No, just value generally, like the value that somebody brings.
Nah. For me, it's not.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what the thing is? I don't think it's monetary either. But when it comes to separation, people get petty and they start thinking about this is mine, that's mine.
Yeah.
You brought this, I brought that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it winds down to physical assets. When you're going into it, you're thinking emotions, you're thinking love,
Yeah,
you're thinking,
hominid,
you're thinking,
100%.
umuntu wami, ngiyajola, kumnandi. Until you guys are parting ways, hey, now it becomes awkward. You guys are talking to each other. You guys are saying, you're calling each other names. It's weird now. So it ultimately boils down to physical assets because that's the only thing that you feel like you can get out of it.
Yeah.
It's not what I value in a relationship, but that's what happens in a separation, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It's the way of the world.
100%.
There's nothing we can do about it.
Very interesting. I appreciate your thoughts, guys. I'm learning as well, you know. It's very interesting. Let us know what you think. Brandon, you're watching us with a lot of curiosity. Are you fine? Yeah, it's interesting. It's very interesting. Shall we do the spotlight? I don't know if you guys want to cover anything else.
No.
Yeah. Okay. Spotlight, church hurt. So I was thinking, story time. I was thinking the other day, I got into service in church. I think 2019, I started serving in church, right? And when I got to serving, there's a lot of people that I met. And over the years, I don't see those people as much. At first, I thought to myself, maybe they moved, you know, maybe life got busy because life does get busy. Maybe priorities changed. But then it hit me, and I wondered, maybe part of it was church hurt. You know, when you look at the definition of church hurt, it's emotional, spiritual, or relational pain experienced within a church community. It can come from leaders, from peers and members, or unaddressed conflicts. I think I want to start by asking you this question. Have you ever experienced church hurt?
I think I have. And I think it's a point of contention for myself right now that I'm kind of, still battling with, even in present day, because of different reasons. Sometimes it's you'll go to a specific church, you'll have a great time, and then, I don't know, it's just maybe you'll go to a sermon that doesn't really speak to you.
Yeah.
And then you sit back and you're just like, I'm not too sure about these views. There's that. Then there's also the very extravagant churches that you'll go to where it just feels like everything is for show. And is this a real conversation that I'm having with God, or am I here because I need to look and feel a certain way because I'm at this very, mponeng type of church? Do you know what I mean? I've experienced all of them. Trust me, I've gone to the ones in the stadiums, I've gone to the small ones, I've gone to the
one in the tent.
Remas, I've gone to the influencer churches, I've gone all of them.
Yeah.
And the reason I do that, not because I'm lost, but I'm also just trying to find a comfort for myself.
Home, yeah.
And I want something that feels good to me. Traditionally, my family is Methodist, right? So I grew up Methodist. That's also the type of church that I understand. It's the very traditional, we sing a certain way, we have the sermon a certain way. Sometimes we'll be there for 5 hours, sometimes we'll be there for 2 hours, depending on the feeling of the church. Because the pastor decides, today I'm preaching for the whole afternoon. You're not going anywhere. And then there's days where it's like, let's wrap it up. I gotta go home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you never know where you're at when it comes to those types of churches.
Yeah.
So for me, it's also like, okay, what works for me? Number one, I'm out in the club, Ipsu.
Yeah.
So I can't have an early morning church. The 7 a.m. thing is, it's not gonna work. I'm not a morning person. So I'm more likely to attend like the 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock type of sermon, you know what I mean? But I also want it to be like, we get in, we sing praises, we get the word, we go home. I must be home for lunchtime, 1 o'clock, you know what I mean? So back to your question about church hurt.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll feel different things in different churches that don't really align with me. And I think maybe I'm being difficult. I have to admit I'm part of the problem. But sometimes it's also an energy thing. I need the energy to speak to me. I need it to want to feel like I'm being fulfilled when I'm in the space. And if I feel like the energies are off, maybe the pastor's off or the people in the church are off, or maybe I feel like I'm not getting what I want out of the sermon, that's when I'll kind of then say, okay, let me take a break. I'll come back when I need to come back. So I'm currently still figuring it out. Right now, I'm still attending my Methodist church, which is in my area. But hey, sometimes young
Senior citizen.
you know what I mean? And then, so I need energy. I need energy.
Yeah.
I need the songs to speak to me. I need the sermon to speak to me. I need the pastor to speak to me. So there's variables that come into play. You know what I mean?
You're so crazy, dude. Yeah.
I hear you. I mean, for me, it's jam-packed, bruh. But like, as a concept, I have experienced church hurt, you know, and it wasn't a term or like, what do you call this? Like, it wasn't clinically diagnosed
Yeah.
to say that this is church hurt, but it was like about, over 11 years ago, like something unfortunate happened in my life, right? And I had people who were trusted to be leaders or leadership over my life. And they were no show, you know? And these were people that I would expect to be like at the forefront of my pain or whatever I was going through, you know, like just to hear from them or just to come through and be like, hey, such and such, or we heard such and such happen, whatever the case might be. I went MIA for like 3 months, none of them reached out, right? And like it was so bad that it was bad. Like I was hurt, you know, I was hurt, but I wasn't at the time like, oh, I'm church hurt. It was just like, these people, I expected so much from them or whatever the case. And then when I bounced back from that, I just told myself, I'll never be that leader. I'll never be like that, you know, just because it happened to me, I'm not going to allow it to happen to somebody else. And then over the years with what you're saying, I've also seen that like through attending church or serving or whatever the case, like you kind of see people come and go. But with others, you have at least the privilege and have conversations, and you do realize, oh no, it is clinically diagnosed. It's church hurt. What you're going through is church hurt. And then you can kind of be like, okay, this is how I can go about it or whatever the case. And you kind of extend grace, for me personally, extend grace to say, okay, one thing that I've also learned in being part of a church is that we often fall short to extending grace, to understand that everybody here don't know what they're doing, you know? They're figuring it out themselves, you know? So it's not to say they choose not to be like they or whatever the case, but it's like, how then can you show them that, Emone, you stepped on my cons, bro, you know? Or even me, I can be better in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think it's that thing, when it comes to church, it's almost like you should be perfect. If you are here, you should be perfect. You should know how to treat people. You should know how to respond to certain things. You should know how to conduct yourself and all of that. But overall, as a concept, it is something that I've experienced. I've seen it happen to other people.
Yeah. I think for me, it was not necessarily church hurt, but I think disappointment. So what had happened is I stepped off from where I was serving because I had to go do something else for the church. And it was interesting how, and I think the problem with us is that we expect us from people.
Yeah.
Like when you're kind to people, like you automatically expect the same treatment from people. You know what I mean? So I would be that guy that would like show up for people, help people, and when I stepped off and I went to do something else, my posture was, it would be so nice for people to actually get on their phones, and even if it's a text, like, yo, dude, we know you're not here anymore. How are you doing? And I remember I got so, I think the word is upset, because I thought to myself, like, dude, I was always showing up in you guys' lives. Like, I would always check up on you guys, and why am I not getting the same favor? And I think that's when I said to myself, you should never expect you from people. It's really hard to reconcile with that, you know, like, because I think we walk around thinking everyone is kind, you know, everyone is compassionate, but it's like, no, some people are actually assholes.
Especially in church, you think people are kind. You expect them to be kind.
You see, that's what I'm talking about. The energy.
Yes.
There'll always be something.
Sorry.
However, I do like what you said, that you have to extend, you know, that grace, because sometimes people are in a season.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Sometimes people are in a season. You might find that people are, sure, they're still serving there and so on and so forth, but they are going through whatever it is that they're going through, you know what I mean? And I remember just like praying about it. What I spoke about last week, the story of Jairus and the daughter, that for certain things to get up, certain things need to get out. I realized that I was holding on to people checking on me. You know, people texting me and clocking in. But it's like, it's not going to come.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean that I should treat these people any different. Because I think it was starting to affect some of my relationship with the people in the church.
Yeah.
You know, like I'd come to church and then like I'd be, and you would always say, dude, where are you? But I'd be MIA, like I'd be in the church and then I'd go.
Yeah.
You know, because I thought, you guys, what's happening? Because I've learned that everybody wants to be seen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You know, one thing my therapist said to me, which I had to learn also the hard way, because I think it's more of a human reaction to things more than it is about, you know, well, I guess it's our faults as well for the expectancy as well. Inherently, humans are selfish. We all are, in one way or another.
Yeah.
Because it's about self-preservation at the end of the day. And that self-preservation means, how am I going to get through the day? How am I going to get through the week? What do I need to get myself to the other side of whatever the case may be? And sometimes people are just thinking, okay, I just need to get through this hurdle and then I'll be fine.
Yeah.
You need people to then check on you for you to feel a certain way so that you can get that validation or that thing to get you over the line.
Yeah.
What I do find, though, the biggest issue also with that is that because we are expectant of other people to treat us a certain way, we're also wrong because we don't communicate it.
Yes.
That's so true.
Because I've had plenty of situations where I've had fallouts with friends, I've had fallouts in relationships, and the number one issue has always been a break in communication. Sure. Because I'm sitting back thinking, I expected you to be there for me. That person's like, but I didn't know you wanted me to be there because I'm busy. My life's also blowing up. My life's also blowing up at the same time. I was thinking, how am I getting through my fire? I'll see your fire once I've gotten out of mine. Do you know what I mean? And that, I think, is the biggest issue, is that we don't sit and talk to each other, because now you're hurt, you're broken down because it's been 2-3 months, these people haven't checked on you, but you haven't said, hey guys,
100%.
I'm going through the most. Please, can you be there for me? Even if it's just a phone call, even if it's just a text, right now I just need support.
Yeah.
Best believe those people will show up because you've spoken up. The expectation is the problem.
100%.
Sure.
And for me, it comes with the house, right? Like with what you're saying, you make an example of like Saturday night, you may be at the club, right? On a Sunday morning at church, when you walk into the house, there's a certain level of expectation that comes with the treatment that like just for the people that are there. You know, when same scenario, when someone steps on me in the club and they don't say askis, I'm not touched like I would be if someone steps on you at church and they're like, klaba sharp. Because
church people have better values.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to allude to.
Okay.
To say, sometimes we make that mistake to say we have expectations of kindness and love and whatever because that's what the house sells, right? Like it's like this thing that or values, what you're saying, like with the values. So now because of that expectation, you kind of afford it to everyone. And it's like, no, but that's what they're here for. They're here to collect that.
They're here to fix themselves.
They're here to fix themselves. It doesn't mean that they have it. You know, when you bump into someone, go Pick and Pay, or you have milk, and they say they don't have it, it's because they're coming to buy it or whatever the case.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to say is, even with the whole thing of, I think the not communicating or whatever, it's a responsibility that in that whole cycle of church hurt that a lot of people don't want to acknowledge themselves to say, no, but linna haka eta 1, 2, 3, you know, so that need or whatever it might be can be met. Because with what you're saying, like you do find in instances where I feel like ain't nobody checking up on me. People are going through their own fires, and like the mistake is thinking because you're consumed in your own fire. In my house is burning down or whatever. Whether it's in a relationship, even in the workplace or whatever the case might be, we are even more graceful to that. But that's what I'm saying. Like when it comes to church, it's like it's very little. It's very little.
Yeah. Well, look, I think you said something very profound. I think we ought to learn, and I know it's difficult, but we ought to learn communicating where we are.
Yeah.
And to your point,
and I don't understand why it's so difficult to communicate.
Because people
I've seen this from so many people where it's like it's so hard to put yourself in a position of vulnerability.
Yeah.
And I guess it's easier said than done because I'm also guilty of not speaking up. I can say that. But I think as humans, it's hard for us to feel vulnerable because there's this thing where you can't show when you are going through the most. It's like you can't admit, hey, isn't yawa. You know what I mean? And it's like this. You don't have to show it to everybody, but you've got a community of people that you can lean on, that you can speak to, that can actually look at you and be there for you. And you can say, you know what, I trust this person. Maybe they'll be able to give me some advice. Vulnerability, I think, is also important because as a society, we've also created this facade. We must just, stick through it. We must just stick through it. We can't cry. We need to just push through the pain. No. That's how mental health issues arise. That's how depression arises. That's how alcohol and drug abuse arises because you're using other avenues to deal with the pain as opposed to just having a conversation. There's so much more release out of just talking and crying. I say to everybody, crying is therapeutic. Everybody has tear ducts. Let's use them. And then once that feeling is out, you feel refreshed and you keep it moving.
Yeah.
I think it's easier to reference something bad than to reference something good. What do I mean by that? Oftentimes, somebody has 9 good things going on in their lives. And then there's that one thing or 2 things that are not that good. And they focus their energy on the 2 things or the one thing that's not going well in their lives. And I think just in your question, why is it so difficult? People will often tap into like the bad references where maybe they had like a moment of vulnerability and they went to somebody and they wanted to open up, but how they were received at that particular moment, you know what I mean?
100%.
And then they associate that with every single interaction with every single person.
Yeah.
And so when they think of going to open up, it's like, nah. Yeah, I'm gonna get rejected. And I think that's what it is. Yeah.
I think also for me, bro, like again, personalizing it, like exposure to what you model is a big thing, like I can hear by how you express yourself that you have a different avenue of like a tool to learn how to communicate certain things or whatever the case. But I've been saying like it's one thing that I also had to learn in my relationship with my wife to say, I don't come from a background where I knew how to communicate. If something's Saudula sharp, you just swallow it, you move to the next day. I had to do that like all my life until I learned until I met this person. now I must communicate. What do you mean I must communicate?
Yeah,
you know?
how does that look like?
And then, like that's a real thing
Yeah.
to say that, oh no, now I must go back and be a child and learn how to communicate. That if I was stepped on my toe, I would just take it. Maybe go to my room or whatever
And
the
you're in
case.
pain.
And I'm in pain. You know, not that I had a room because I had my siblings, but like just that, it's a small thing, but it was a huge thing in my relationship. To a point, I was actually talking to her like this morning to say, Jorge, thank you for teaching me how to learn how to communicate, because communication has never been my strongest point. To say that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So sometimes I do feel it's a tool thing to say, Jorge, are you exposed to those tools? Do you know how to even communicate? Because sometimes it's like communication is a channel thing. Do I even understand that there's a channel here? If I said to you now, were you watching the Springboks and you're like, where? And I'm like on Super Sport and you're like, oh shucks, I didn't know. So you wouldn't have gotten to a point where you actually watch the Springboks because you don't know there's a channel.
I get that.
You understand?
Yeah.
So for me, it's these type of things where I'm like, I appreciate hearing something like that, because now that does expose in me that I need to avail myself to a different tool to express myself and communicate.
Yeah. And I mean, one psalmist, and by psalmist I mean rapper, he said repetition is the father of learning. And I think really we need to be repetitive with these things. I said to my wife yesterday, I said, hey babe, I'm actually proud of us. And she looks at me like, what are you talking about? I'm like, I don't know if you've noticed, but there's been so much change. When you and I have misunderstandings right now, it's solved within an hour, within 2 hours. It doesn't trickle into the next day like before. And I think it boils down to that thing of communicating. But you're not going to get it right the first time around. And that's why you have to repeatedly try and do it until you get to a point where it's like part and parcel.
And with that communication, the communication also goes two ways. Because you need to be able to hear the other person 100%. As well. Because there's nothing going to be delivered if you're just listening to be like, she's wrong here, she's wrong here, she's wrong here. Okay, how do I defend myself? And then you come with a fire. That's not communicating. That's just
that
you.
Was me.
That's just you being snacks. Now stop being snacks. Okay?
You just want to rebuttal everything.
No,
100%.
You can't argue to defend yourself. You 100%. Need to hear where the other person is coming from. Put yourself in their shoes, understand their feeling, and then say, okay, cool, this is where you're coming from, this is where I'm coming from. Are we hearing each other? Okay, we're hearing each other. How do we move forward together?
100%.
Do you know? Because that is also a big breakdown in communication, is the not wanting to hear the other. Anybody can listen. We all have ears. But are you hearing me? Are you feeling me? Because if you're not feeling what I'm feeling, then my message is not being delivered.
What's that? It's powerful because that's actually a tool in negotiation even. When you are negotiating, 95% of the time you're listening. And 95% of the time you're trying to find or resolve for both parties. So it's not I must win, you must lose. 95% of the time, it's about finding a solution for both parties. So I think, just like actively listening. Not passively.
I think actually that's the most needed skill in the whole act of communicating. Because with what you're saying, like sometimes you literally just listening to be like, I'm just waiting for my turn. I'm just waiting for my turn, But when you start listening to actually hear what this person is saying, feel what you did or what you didn't do or whatever the case might be. And I'm making an example with a romantic relationship, but how this whole thing started was with church, right? And now it's like, but how graceful are we in those relationships, in the friendship or work relationship or whatever, to actually be like, okay, sharp, we need to talk. I didn't like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or I didn't appreciate 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. To a point where it's like, what's again, sharp, take. I'm great. So I just feel like with that, it's an art, man. Like the communication is something that you really need to avail yourself as an art to say, okay, how do I interpret this and how do I express it so that the next person actually does get it? Because you can't be painting a picture that it's so haphazard to me, and I have to respond to it. It's like, yeah.
And sometimes even when going back to the topic of church hurt as well, sometimes it's also not like a personal experience. Like you guys were dependent on your leaders or your fellowship to actually check on you in specific times in your lives. Someone like me who's in and out of church, sometimes it's also a perspective of maybe I hear something from a pastor or a leader or that doesn't sit well with me, and I'm like, this doesn't talk to my values. This hasn't been communicated well to me. Is this the type of place that I want to serve in because these are their values and this is how they see things? And maybe it's a way that the pastor probably communicated incorrectly in his sermon, or maybe I didn't hear him in the way that he was trying to.
Interpretation,
you know what I
yeah.
mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And then I sit back and I'm like, I don't know if I want to go back to this place because now it's a little bit awkward in the way that this thing was delivered. It doesn't speak to me. Maybe they are lambasting a certain group or whatever the case may be that I feel strongly about. So there's those aspects that also kind of come into play,
Do you think it's possible to completely agree with everything that the preacher man is saying? Like, let's say, like in your case, like, do you think the one place that you'll go, like it's a church, I don't know what denomination, but everything that the preacher man is saying, you agree with 100%?
I don't think we'll agree 100% purely because we're still all human. And my relationship of going to church, my relationship was with God. And my being able to hear the word and my needing to learn a new lesson for that day.
100%.
And sometimes pastors will communicate something the right way, and I'll get the message and I'll appreciate it and I'll learn something for the week and it will stick with me. Sometimes I'll sit back, I'll be like, and I think it just all comes with discernment at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You'll also sit back, you'll be like, okay, I get where he's coming from because he's older, so he looks at it like this. I'm younger, so I look at it like that. And it also becomes with my contribution to the church and how I am actually then hearing the word and hearing the message and taking what I can out of it. It's the same as having a conversation with an old person or your grandfather or your parents. They grew up in a different time. Their views are different. They'll see we're all living in 2025 right now, but our experiences of 2025 are completely different. So they might say something to you that you disagree with, but you'd be like, hey, but I get where you're coming from because in your mind, you're an old person who sees things in this way. Yeah. I see things in a different way. That disagreement doesn't necessarily have to turn into an argument. It just has to be like, what do you take out of it? Okay, I'm taking 5% of what you said, and that's what I'm going to run with.
Yeah.
You know?
All right.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Proper. Yeah, we've been talking, hey? Goodness, we've been talking. Let's close, guys, hey? I don't think we're going to delve into the other stuff. But yeah, thanks again, guys, for this. This was refreshing. Cos, on a lighter note, please close for us.
On a lighter note, please like, subscribe, comment. Let us know exactly where you want Sechaba to wax himself. Is it a full body or do you want it in a specific portion of his body? And we will put up another poll and we will be back with the video.
We will be back.
I don't think Sechaba's ready, but we are.
Yeah.
Summer edition of Sechaba.
Yo.
I don't have a say.
You don't have to say it. The poll has spoken, brother,
Yes.
But yeah, listen, until next time. Cheers.